Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this edition of our artist spotlight called Under the Radar here on this platform. And we want to say thank you to each and every one of you for taking the time out to tune in here and check us out here. Make sure you following me on Twitter at the Emilio Wackbar, or you can follow us on Twitter at EJP Entertain Me One to stay up to date with everything related concerning the Mid-Morning Rush Show, the Nonstop Radio Show, and every other platform that we have included. Here tonight, folks, we have a special guest joining us on the line, and please help me give him a nice, warm welcome. Rell, what's good, brother? How you?
Yo, man, I'm cooling, bro. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Want to say thank you and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to call in here and rock out with us on this platform. So, before we get started, man, how about we let you introduce yourself to the people out there and give you the opportunity to, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Rell, you feel me, from New Orleans, Louisiana, now located in Atlanta. Been in the music game for a long time, man. I'm still just putting in that work, bro.
Okay. And that's all it is. So, from New Orleans to Atlanta, from what I understand, you and your family was misplaced by Katrina at the time, which caused you to move to Atlanta. So let me ask you, just how was that experience for you? Because this is the first time I've actually really had a conversation with somebody that lived through Katrina and was actually in New Orleans at the time that it all happened. So what was that like, going through that at such a young age?
Well, when it happened, I was 19, and I didn't stay for the disaster. I got out right before it happened, like right. The rest of, like, a small portion of my family got out, and I was one of the lucky ones. But just the whole evacuation process it was just crazy, man. Just everything. Nobody really take that as serious as it was. That's why I think it was so big and so bad. But it was just crazy, man.
Yeah, man. It's good to hear that, you was able to get out. Some of your family was able to get out. And to those that you lost along the way, man, we just want to extend our condolences because we know Katrina was a crazy situation. No doubt, man.
Yeah,
so,
appreciate that.
No doubt, man. So, making that transition from New Orleans to Atlanta, like, I know we all know it's still in the South, but we know that, New Orleans, they kind of got like that French flavor. And, the whole Creole background and all that good stuff. And then, you got Atlanta. Atlanta is kind of like, the Hollywood of the South, man. So how's that transition been for you?
Right. Man, first I really came here kind of staying in the office. I really didn't understand what was going on. I understand I just kind of hit the jackpot. I just was coming from what I was coming from. Just, I think a lot of us kind of came to Atlanta like that. But, the more I started seeing the culture, and, a lot, it reminded me a lot of Louisiana in a lot of ways, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even better, it wasn't no hating and none of that. So for me, I kind of like, once I adjusted, I didn't want to leave, man. I seen so much opportunity. I was like, man, this is the place to be.
Mm-hmm. I can dig that, man, because, we got a lot of people, we see, on a daily basis and, yearly that is relocating to Atlanta, especially a lot of us, young black men and women that, we're relocating to Atlanta to pursue, our careers, whether that be in the music industry and acting and other kind of, different industries. So that's good to hear because when you hear about Atlanta, like you don't really get a lot of, people saying that, everything is more, I'm not going to say together, but people that aren't really, looking to hate on somebody as they would in other cities where things is more competitive.
Yeah, most definitely. There's a lot of love down here, man. It's a lot of love.
It's a lot of love. That's what's up, man. So, let's talk about your mixtape, Answer the Call. You started really getting into music and everything at the age of 12. So who were some of your major influences that got you started?
Far as like, music, the first rap I ever heard was Tupac. My stepfather used to play him nonstop all day, night, day, and evening. Like I used to hate it at first. I didn't know who he was. Then Lil Wayne was another one. But far as like at that age, for me, it was really Bow Wow because he was so small and everybody in the game was just like grown up. So I couldn't really like, it was there on sports. I seen him, Mm-hmm. And that's really it. Really Pac, Wayne, and really Bow Wow coming in the game.
Okay. Yo, like, it had to have been crazy at that time when, Cash Money and, all those acts that was coming out of New Orleans was really starting to take off. Like us being over here on the East Coast, we know that it happened to hit us by storm. When we heard, Cash Money, when we heard all these different groups that was coming out, No Limit Soldiers and all that things. Like, how was that vibe in New Orleans at that time when, pretty much everybody's eyes was focused on New Orleans?
Oh man, it was crazy. By me being in New Orleans, I didn't really know, what the outside world was, how they was looking at what's going on. But just being in the city at that time when we was just had hot acts coming out there, you kind of could feel it in the streets, man. You could tell, we was hot. You heard with their music all day, nonstop. If
Mm-hmm.
it was new artists coming out in New Orleans, I wouldn't have known because all you knew about was the dominating labels,
Mm-hmm.
Cash Money, No Limit. That's the main two come to my head. And there was a couple other, out there, you know what I mean? Like, because after Cash Money, we had UNLV, they come from the same label and everything. So it was a bunch of labels out at the time, but just Cash Money and No Limit, they like dominated the city.
Mm-hmm. They definitely dominated the city, and for a little while, they was dominating hip hop because everybody was following that same trend with the whole bling bling movement,
Right.
as we like to call it, or the make them say movement and all that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, New Orleans definitely had shit on Smash at one point, man. And it's crazy when you go back
Right, right.
and you look at some of the older videos from some of these guys out there doing their thing back at that time, man. It was like really influential to see a lot of that stuff, man.
Right, for real, yep.
No doubt, man. So, going out there to Atlanta and all that, man, like, what prompted you to say, like, who were some of the people that you hooked up with during the way to, get yourself into the studio and really start, pursuing a career in music?
Wow, damn, when I first came down here or whatever, I met a little female, you know what I'm saying? She knew a guy that did music. I could tell her I rap, but she never heard me. And she hooked me up with a guy, and, from there I recorded a mixtape with him, and after that I kind of, laid low for me. It was the type of thing where I made a mixtape, and I just went to drawing my own cover, passing it out, I'm in the new shit. I just, like, went crazy. I'm like, So, and after that, I met another guy who was like, put me on, and he was from New Orleans too at the time, put me on studios and competitions. After a while, I just started just like getting out there and meeting them on my own. But it always was a friend of a friend, because I really know nobody.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
It's what is that like? Being the first person when you're around a whole group of people and you don't know nobody, and you trying to move and shake, because that's got to be one hell of a transition from moving from one place to a new place and meeting new people and getting out there.
Yeah, it was, man. It kind of was a culture shock for a little while because, you talking, people want you to repeat words, say baby, all type, It was for me, I just couldn't, it was kind of like not really trying to fit in, but trying to, like, adjust to everything around. Things moved. Even if the music was different than, we talking about Atlanta around that time. I think this was jocking everybody was, and I'm coming from New Orleans, we heard their music, but I still was on my own, the tips. So it was just a whole readjusting to everything and just kind of like trying to figure the game out and see where I could put myself at,
Mm-hmm. The crazy part about it is like when the South really started, like seizing control of the whole entire hip hop industry, it was kind of, a crazy feeling at that time because, we were so used to hearing, either the West Coast or New York dominate hip hop.
Yeah.
And then, hearing this sound come from the South and just the way, it exploded on to the scene. It was just, it was that whole crazy moment down there when you had all them guys out there like Young Jock and all that stuff,
Right, it was, man. And I remember it, man, when I kind of seen it happening. Like you said, it started New York and the West, and when it hit the South, it was crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie, it was crazy. Like I said, at the time, I didn't realize what was going on. I was in my own little bubble, but it was crazy.
So let me ask you, man, like, what was your first song that you put out, that, made people turn their head and get their attention and really start paying attention to you as a serious artist?
I would have to say most recently, man. I hate to say that like that because I've always been an underground guy. Even in school, I was a guy that wanted, they beating on walls, I'm rapping and stuff. And even when I made my first kind of little song in the studio, I pushed it. People, I did shows, but people didn't really like take to it. But this time around with this Answer the Call and Graduated, my single, I feel like people really like start seeing, it's a difference between a guy that just keep rapping and rapping. He's just the guy, for rapping, a guy that's actually making moves. And it really started like, it went to producer flowers, you know what I'm saying? And I see people really like the comments and how they gravitate towards me. And I'm not used to that, bro. It kind of still like weird me out. I'm not used to that, bro.
Yeah, I know the feeling, man. When you are an artist and you get somebody that really listen to your music for the first time, and then you get a positive reaction from it, it's like you don't really know how to take that because you're so used to so many people out there hating, right?
Yeah, you used to the struggle, man. You used to the hustle and bustle. So when you finally get something, you know, the goodness out, it just like, I'm so in this grind mode that I'm just like, wow, you know, I appreciate it to the most. I can't like it. Yeah, the thing, it's a million people, and it probably one comment, but for me, it's still like, you know, is this real? Is this a fam? You know what I'm saying?
I tell people that all the time. I'm like, listen, like, even if you have like maybe 5 people listening to you, you know, treat them 5 people like it's 500 or like it's 5,000 because you never know who out of that 5 knows somebody that can help you out in your situation. So, you know, you always want to treat them like they're 5,000 people, even if it's only 5 people listening, you know?
I definitely agree, man. I definitely do, man. I appreciate every last one of them, every last one.
No doubt, man. So, you know, we started talking about, you know, your new mixtape, Answer the Call. You know, it's 13 tracks on there. So what was the, you know, the motivation behind, you know, this mixtape?
Well, like, it came together, man. I was helping my pops work on his channel, Made TV, you know, music. Y'all check him out, Made TV. And it's a positive channel, you know, black oriented, you know what I mean? Just talking about the struggles of the people. And he needed theme music. See, like, I can't lie, I come out, you know, I was following the culture, so I rap a lot about the streets and things in my life and, you know, things of that nature. So when he came in with the theme, I was deep into a whole nother project, just rapping a whole nother way outside of Answer the Call. And when he came with the things, we started putting together. And as, you know, I was making it, he was teaching me. And we was, you know, I'm looking up things to do certain songs, and it kind of touched me, man. And it evolved, man. My music evolved. He kind of gave me like, kind of like not an ultimatum, but kind of like a choice, man. You know, once he seen it was coming together, and this is thing, you like, man, you really, you know, you can change the game, bro. You can rap like this or rap like that. And I just kind of made my choice, man, and just let it happen, bro.
Mm-hmm. So, like, with that being said, man, like, what prompted you? Well, other than, you know, the story we just said, like, what personal experience you went through that actually made you change the way that you was rapping to this more positive approach that you're on now?
Oh, man, just life, man. Just, you know, walking into, you know, sales and things, going to jail, seeing, you know, the people is affecting, man, being in the community, seeing the people is affecting, standing on side of the guys actually affecting, going to these funerals, you know what I'm saying? Just everyday life, man, just seeing that, you know, a lot of music sound real good. It's cool, you know what I mean? The beats are fit. I love it. But at the same time, the effect is, you know, if you can't see it, it's like turning a blind eye to it. So it just was unbearable. I could not know what's going on. It just, you know, it just not say nothing.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, you know, especially nowadays, man. I remember there was a time, like, when you hear about, you know, a rapper having their life took over some beef that escalated because of either something that was said on wax or because of something that happened outside of the music. You didn't hear about that too often. It was almost kind of like a rare occurrence. But it's like nowadays, it's like you turn on YouTube or go on social media, every day you're hearing about some new rapper that's getting their life taken over foolishness.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and that's normal now, man. It's normal, man. And the label signing it, they're keeping it going. So for me, like I said, I'm not no angel. I made the same kind of music. I'm from that same club at the same time. It's like, it's time you got to see what's going on, and you know, and just join the positive. I just trying to stay real positive with my music. I still have my raw edge, you know, it's in me. But at the same time, I just couldn't no more, man. I couldn't do it.
Nah, I respect that, man. Like, that's the easiest thing to talk about, you know, the struggle, because, you know, that's what we all come from. So a lot of people resonate with that when it comes to music. You know, you include struggle within the music, people are going to resonate with it. You know, I can say the same thing. I wasn't always, you know, on some positive shit either, but eventually had to change that because you can't keep rapping that same way forever and expect you're going to make any kind of change, you know?
Yeah, I get, you know what I'm saying, because everybody like to run to the culture thing. I get it, we did phone that, but, you know, this hip-hop come a long way. It done changed so many times that we just chose to, you know, pick that one. So I just choose not to, man. I'm not knocking nobody, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Take care of families.
Yeah, nah, we definitely not knocking nobody. You know, you got to do what you got to do to take care of your family and all that stuff. You know, just the only thing is, like, sometimes when I think about it, it's just like, damn, like, I wish, you know, the industry would, you know, I guess make it more important to put positive stuff out there, you know, give people an alternative other than the negative all the time.
Right, yeah, I totally agree. I totally do.
Yeah, man. Sometimes it's good to have a little switch of pace and all that stuff. So, with your single, graduated, man, like, what was the inspiration that brought this record out here to be the single off of the mixtape?
Yeah, man, really like a metaphor. It's just basically saying I graduated, in the game. Like I don't really do what most artists do. So I felt like I was on another class with it, and as I was writing it, coming together with it, just really watching my growth. It just the metaphor just came to life kind of for me because I was just writing a song. It just wanted a metaphor. It just started being a true story as I went. So that's all it is, a metaphor for change.
No doubt, man. I see that, this single graduated is doing some crazy numbers right now on YouTube. 25,000 streams. No doubt, man. So,
thank the Lord.
So how does it feel, especially in an era right now where, streams is so important for an artist to be able to have success? Like, how does it feel to see that 25,000 streams for your single?
Man, I looked at it again. I went to sleep, looked at it. I just want to make sure it go nowhere, man. It felt good, man. It felt real good. Like, it was a blessing, man, just to see it do what it do. So I was like, hell yeah, like, real.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So
I'm not used to that, bro. I'm not.
I feel you, man, because shit, I see 100 clicks on the video that I put up on YouTube. I'm excited about that. So to do 25,000, man, is great.
Right. Yeah, appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing to sneeze at, man. So with that being said, the next question is like, being that, this industry is now driven so much by, your streaming numbers in order for an artist to get that deal that they want. How do you feel about that now in comparison to the way music used to be, tracked?
It's kind of like you got to re-educate yourself. That's how I felt. I come from the CD era, like a lot of us do, a lot of, older cats game, So it was like trying to figure out how to get paid again for me. I'm like, I know we can, the CDs always kind of like, it's two ways to me. When hearing the story, like they go to the big machine, you print them up, you go in your trunk and sell them. Mm-hmm. So with the streaming thing, it kind of had me just like baffled. I'm like, now how we get paid and what's, so I had to really relearn this industry. So it's different now. So yeah.
Yeah, man, it is definitely different now because, I tell this story because it's astounding to me to hear it that, I had another conversation with an artist about the same topic and they told me like, listen, like nowadays, 1 million streams ain't going to get you through the door. Like they're not really trying to, sit down with you unless you have 10 million. You know what I mean? So like,
right.
It's crazy, and then when you look at the streaming numbers, how much people actually get paid off of, their streams and stuff, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. When I was doing more, I think maybe Apple Music, don't quote me, but some of them have where they give 100% of it, but things like that, but still it's kind of like, it's still for a person that's not used to it, it's a new type of game. And like you said, streaming numbers really don't matter as much now to these, these labels or whatever, you know what I mean? As far as for independent label, like, what I'm under, it's kind of big for us, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still kind of like getting the gist of everything.
Mm-hmm. Nah, man, I tell people all the time, and they always gawk at numbers. I'm like, bro, like anything beats having a zero next to the column that's most important right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, I want to ask you, like, what approach did you take to help you got those 25,000 streams? That's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, really with my management team, you know what I'm saying, the people behind me, man, really just like promoting like day and night, non-sleep, man, trying to figure out anything we do, just get into any type of marketing, any type of social media person. We had to really learn the ins and outs to get into streaming because I hate to say it in a lot of ways, a lot of people just want to put a video up and let it just do what it do. And, by the grace of God, I hope the universe take it there, but it comes with a lot of, preparing and, really putting on the business side more than music. You know what I mean? Putting on the real grind of this thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. That is truth, man.
So that's word to the management team, man.
Yeah, man. It's good. Like, would you feel like, even if you didn't have a management team, like, do you feel like you would have obtained the same success that you got so far right now? Or you feel like you would have gotten there, but not as in the fashion that you would have done without your management team? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. Well, I'm a real spiritual person, man. So I feel like whatever for you is gonna be for you. But like
Mm-hmm.
I give all credit to my team. All credit to God and my team. So man, right now, because it's looking the way it's looking, couldn't do it without. I couldn't do it without y'all. Couldn't do it without you, baby. Keep up
Yeah,
the good work.
man. So with that 25,000 streams and the success that you are seeing right now with your single graduated and answer the call the mixtape, what's the plans for you going forward in 2022? Like you and your label, y'all looking to put together like a small city tour, or you going to do any performances?
Yeah, most definitely, man. All the above, man. All the above. Whatever we got to do to really just get the single out there and the mixtape in the atmosphere and the universe, man, so people can really, receive it. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever we got to do, bro.
No doubt, man. So I gotta ask, what in your idea is the best places that you would want to go to perform at? It don't have to be in Atlanta. It don't have to be in Georgia. It can be anywhere in the world or anywhere in the United States you want to go. Where would you want to perform? Like, give me your top 10 cities.
So, my top 10 cities, I'm most definitely got to say home, New Orleans, Texas. Well, I'm going to say the whole South. I'm going to say New York, the Mecca. Got to say Cali, like, Cass Cali, man. Stay right behind y'all with that shit. So Cali, Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I perform in Idaho, bro. I won't perform everywhere. I won't perform on Mars, man. I go everywhere. It won't be good. Let's go.
So like with Idaho and all that stuff like that, in them areas that get notoriously cold, you would love to perform there?
I go anywhere, but I'm so hungry. Hey, I'm ready, bro. But the places I really want to go is, like I said, man, like the major places that it happened. Like I said, New York, California.
Mm-hmm.
I have to see these places. What I'm saying? That's the main two right now, right? Like you said, New York and Cali kind of had it for a while. So yeah. I just want to walk through time again, back to New Orleans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's got to be dope to be able to go back to New Orleans and like on a big platform like like the Superdome or something like that, and be able to perform in front of your hometown crowd. I know that would probably be like the zenith of your career if that was the case.
Oh man, yeah, I feel like for all artists, man, where you from, you always gonna be that guy. I don't care what your rap name is, Money Mo, whatever. Whatever you're gonna be, where you go home, you're gonna be regular or whatever, wherever you are. You know what I'm saying? So for me to be on that stage there, it's gonna touch me, man. This why I'm from. You know what I mean? That's why I'm creative.
Yeah. I can just imagine because, when I look at, a lot of the artists, especially mainstream artists like a Jay-Z or, Jadakiss and, all these artists like Snoop Dogg that get to go and perform on the biggest stages in their hometown. And just to hear the experience, like when Jay-Z, when he did the show at the Garden, what was supposed to be his last album and everything, like he was just describing just the feeling of,
right.
basically being at the pinnacle of his career and just performing at the Garden, just the reaction he got. I know that's something I haven't experienced, but I would love to hear the experience from others that, get the experience.
Yeah,
that.
I would too.
Yeah, man.
I know it's breathtaking, man. I know it's breathtaking. That's just crazy, man.
Yeah, man. So overall, everybody, when we get into this industry, we want to be successful. That's the number one thing. But what are your personal goals that you wish to accomplish by the time you get ready to say, you know what, I've had a pretty decent run at this. I think I can call it a career now. Like, what do you hope to accomplish by the time, the end is near?
Man, that's a good question, man. I hope my legacy is, I hope it's solidified, man. I hope I made waves where my children and my closest acquaintances, could do things off of my name, and I made a way for them too. You know what I mean? And just people in general, man. I want to share my blessing, man. I hope I get back to my community and communities all over, all over the world if I can, man. Like I really want to share this blessing, man. And I hope at the end that my music is something that becomes classical and not just for that moment. You know what I mean? That's that's my main things I really want, like out of everything.
I like that, man. I like that. You don't hear a lot of people. Well, sometimes you do, but a lot of people don't really want a lot of longevity in the music anymore, and that's cool because everybody has their different goals and their different, objectives that they put out there to reach throughout the, the life of their career and whatnot. But I always ask that question because I ask an artist, okay, so like even with the music that you're putting out right now, that's for today's time, will you still be able to go perform that same record 10 years later? You know, so that's why I always ask those artists these
Exactly.
questions, because I want to know, like, do you want to be somebody that's considered a classical artist, or do you want to be considered somebody that's had that one hit wonder for the summer and then that was it? You know?
Yeah, right, man. I agree, man. I'm totally in it for longevity, man. I'm totally.
Me too, man. Like that's what I look to, to accomplish is longevity. Not only with this platform, but even if I decide to get back into making music again, man, I want that longevity.
Right.
I want people to be like, yo, 10 years later, this song still sound fire.
Yeah, man, for real, man. 'Cause you listen to Jay, you can listen to Pop, you can listen to all these greats, and like their music really resonate with the times, man. It's like it's did so long ago, so that's a talent in itself too. Like that foresight out there, it's a crazy foresight to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about that, man. So before we get ready to run out of time, I do want to ask you to, if anybody out there wanted to get in contact with you, they wanted to get their hands on your mixtape, they maybe want to, pull up, see you at one of your shows this year, or, they want to just reach out to you to work. How can they make that possible, man?
All right, man. First, they go to rellmusic.com. That's my official website, man. You can go to Major TV Music. That's my management. That's their website. As far as on social media platforms, on Instagram and Facebook, it's Rell Vinny. On YouTube, it's Rell Music. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, that's a long list. And like I said, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can direct inbox me, and just holler at me, man. If y'all want to work, positive vibes from always.
No doubt, man. Man, we definitely appreciate you for coming up here, taking the time out of your schedule once again, man. 'Cause I know you're a busy man. You're absolutely welcome, man. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot going on for you right now and all that good stuff, man. So we want to, definitely congratulate you on the success of your single, Graduated, and the coming success for your mixtape, and all that good stuff. Answer the Call. And, just much success to you going forward, not only in 2022, but for beyond, your whole career and all that good stuff, man.
Right. Thank you, bro. Same to you, man. Everything you do, bro.
Thank you, man. So, before we get out of here, you got any shout outs, any last words you want to say to the people?
Yeah, man. Let me shout out the management team, TV Music, man. I want to tell y'all, go check out, the mixtape, Answer the Call on that Piff and other mixtape streaming sites. Go download, Graduated, the single. Go check that thing out in the video. And like I said, I want to shout out everybody who's been there from day one and everybody doing their thing, man. I don't care what it is. Just stick to it, man. Stay prayed up, man. That's your boy, Rell.
Absolutely, man. And everybody else, make sure you keep it locked and stay tuned, because coming up next, we about to give you what you all been waiting for, and that's that brand new single by my man Rell, up next, called Graduated. Keep it locked and stay tuned, folks. It's your boy Emilio Whiteball. You already know where it is.
You're rocking with the hottest underground hip-hop and R&B show on this side of the net. This is Non-Stop Radio.
I'm back, baby. Really don't care if they congratulate me. Ain't like I graduated. Nah, I'm lying, boy. I graduated cause I'm in a different class. They looking like teachers' pet. I ain't studied for exams. Damn. Now let me walk you like I own a place. Shit stay on my shoulder and you know I got a bone to pick. Let me see your skeleton. Black and I'm militant. Plus I am a ladies man. Forgive me for my shady past. Born in the asylum, made friends with the maniacs. Got tired of wildin', now I'm studying my lineage. Music been so negative, this sounding so primitive. But homie, I ain't hating, that's how you feed your fam and your kids. I'm back, baby. I don't care if they congratulate me. Ain't like I graduated. I'm lying, man. I graduated cause I'm in a different class. They looking like teachers' pet. I ain't studied for exam. I hope my music resonate cause I just wanna motivate. Hope I didn't come too late cause I'm just trying to say the truth. My pops was a monster. Man, that's word to resonate. Turn me to a monster. I think that's in my DNA. Words to my mama, baby, thank you for this handsome face. Grew up in New Orleans, running with my brothers out of date. And all we really care about is getting paid and getting that other shit came with it. So you know just how we play. I'm back, baby. They don't care who congratulate me. Ain't like I graduated. Nah, I'm lying, boy. I graduated cause I'm in a different class. They looking like teachers' pet. I ain't studied for exams. Ain't like I graduated. Ain't like I graduated. like I graduated.
The non-stop radio show.
Non-stop hip-hop.
The hottest underground hip-hop and R&B show on this side of the net.
And that is going to do it for this show, ladies and gentlemen. But we'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on KKSJ, Kawan J Radio for the Mid-Morning Rush show hosted by yours truly. It's your boy Emilio Wackbar. Until next time, y'all all be safe out there. You heard? Peace.
This is Major TV and this is brought to you by Major. Like and subscribe to get your notifications. Couldn't do it without you, need your full participation. And we giving back, this is your appreciation. Tune in.